Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation, and welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. For the next hour, I have my door open to you, the SCP Foundation community, to answer your burning questions about the work we do here at the Foundation, whether it's about the anomalies we contain, the staff that contains them, the groups of interest who get a little tetchy about the whole containing thing, and of course, hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the Foundation's standard purview. Maybe it's because they're from a different multiverse or a pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. I'm here to educate, elucidate, and illuminate you for the next hour. So, starting out, Junior Researcher Sally. Congratulations on being the most punctual today and for being our first chatter. Along with you, Chester Factory, Director Ethan, Jace, Person of Interest Codename End, Scarlet Fox, Rat, Dr. America, Amber, Light Steve, Aoki, Senior Researcher Alex, Puppet Boy, Researcher Voidell, Dark Duality, Zerdrin. Congratulations to all of you for being exceptionally punctual to today's stream, and thank you for being members as well. Finally, Avari, Gubby, Marker, History Lover, and Super Minion. Welcome to today's stream. Thank you for being punctual, and thanks just for being you today. Desk, good to see you up and active for today's function, ready for the stream. Now today, I have got everything set up to answer your questions, but our starting subject. If you look at the thumbnail of today's stream, there is an incident happening. Off campus, I decided to take a little off-site sabbatical, grab some lunch at a local pub the next city over. And I was ambushed by LABUBUS, falling from the lamps, climbing down like they are rappelling in on the attack. Several casualties. I barely made it out with my life. And so, I don't know if this is a Dr. WONDERTAINMENT ploy. I do not know what this is about, but we are dealing with anomalous toys, and while agents are en route, it would be beneficial for us to find some anomalous toys to put into the scenario against these volatile LABUBU entities. I see that you guys have also had to deal with these entities before. I'm sorry to hear it. Yes, I don't like LABUBUs. They are horrifying in battle. Those teeth, they're very sharp, it turns out. Ugh. Throats gashed. It was blood spilling everywhere. I felt like I was in a Tarantino movie for a minute. Thankfully, I wore my red shirt. Silent Follower, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself some pot stickers on your way past the commissary. Can't stay for today's stream, just had to deal with a funeral, but here's a donor to spread much needed positivity. Well, thank you very much for the drive-by dono. I hope everything is okay with you and yours regarding that funeral business, and sorry for your loss. Junior Researcher Sherwood, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a cup of ramen on your way past the commissary. Dr. Sherman, notice my new image. I trapped Lady Owl. Well, it's such a tiny image here on the profile picture. Okay, that is a little bit bigger. I see a Sailor Moon, a tiger, some hearts, a lot of little knicky-knacks is what I'm seeing here. So, I'm not seeing an owl lady, but perhaps you've got them locked in that ball of yarn. Cool Man Fight, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a order of sashimi on your way past the commissary. I used Plan 42 on myself. I am a spider now. Help me. I am already dealing with lethal LABUBUS, and you are sitting here turning yourself into a spider? Why do you make my life so difficult? Well, first of all, stay the hell away from me. Second of all, stay the hell away from my office. Third of all, security will be there to deal with you soon. Legendary Doge, just got the notification. LABUBUS are doing what? Look at the thumbnail of this stream. The LABUBUS are on a rampage. Lockjaw, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself an espresso on your way past the commissary. SCP-2420 as SCP-106's chew toy. I don't like the things you're saying here. I don't know what 2420 is off the top of my head, but I don't like giving anything good to SCP-106 because Radical Larry is a jerk. 2420. A good dog? You want to give Radical Larry a dog? That seems unnecessarily cruel to animals. Was a human who created instances of -1, which were dogs. Okay, so it's a human who's making dogs. Do bad things happen to the dogs? Because then I might actually be on your wavelength here. The effects occur whenever 2420 was made aware of any dog or any dog was made... Oh, no. It makes -1s out of dogs. Only domesticated dogs were affected by the effect. Other canids being immune to effects. Dogs of any size would become an instance of SCP-2420-1 and show no pain in their transformation, aside from general confusion found when brought outside of 2420's influence. The instances of 2420-1 were completely invulnerable to any form of damage. Attempts at DNA testing were rendered void when it was discovered nothing could cut the fur. Any other tests So, okay, this guy makes dogs immortal. If this guy makes dogs immortal, then no. We're not going to let 106 try to hurt an immortal dog, even if it can't. That's still mean. I'm going to deny this just in case. Cross-testing anything with 106 is always very risky, so we wouldn't do it without a particularly useful purpose. Like when we tried to use 106 to decommission 096. That was a worthy goal. Call me Milo. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Meanwhile, I'm seeing celebrations in the chat. What's happening? Oh, congratulations to your friend, Zerdrin. Healthcare is an important thing in that situation, and it's a dire shame of what's happening in trying to restrict it around these parts. Me and the boys decommissioning anomalies. Well, Puppet Boy, you will need to clear that with Director Bold of the Decommissioning Department. We don't do that lightly, remember, so make sure to put your proposal in with Director Bold in between when he's kicking babies. The computer guy just got to stream. Where are we at? Well, there's currently a breach the next town over from Site 42. I've got agents on the way, but there is a cadre of lethal LABUBUS running rampant in a restaurant. So we need agents to contain the offending creatures. Meanwhile, we could take a look at any anomalous toys that we have in containment that might give the agents intel on how to handle the situation properly. Clipsy, why was it LABUBUS? Look at the thumbnail of today's stream and then ask me again. It's because I was sitting there having a delightful barbecue sandwich, and then I looked up in the sky and LABUBUS were raining down, rappelling down the light fixtures. It was a bloodbath. Terrifying. Lockjaw, thank you for donating again. You meant SCP-2430 as the chew toy for 106. Okay, that's a different anomaly. What is that? Approved. 100% approved. The first person in the Containment Hazard Assessment team who brought up 2430 and it not make me want to ban them for being problematic. Thank you. Yes. Let us please requisition a transfer of 2430 to inside SCP-106's containment cube. I would love that. Scarlet Fox, what is it? Yeah. SCP-2430 is the Immortal Hitler clone. That's SCP-2430. The Immortal Hitler clone. Created by the group of interest known as Obscura Corps, which was the frickin'... Give me a second. I got to pull up the exact documents so I know I'm not giving you any misinformation. Yes, I was correct. I was not going to lead you astray. The Obscura Corps, or as they're sometimes just called Obscura, is the Nazis' version of the SCP Foundation. The SCP Foundation is a non-governmental organization that is not beholden to any world government, but world governments start their own all the time. The Federal Bureau of Investigation of the United States of America has the Unusual Incidents Unit, or the UIU. Russia has the GRU Division P for their anomalous research. And you know that even in real life, the Nazis were into all sorts of occult BS. It's funny how much of what they were looking to was fake, despite the fact that they're actually anomalies. They're just that dumb. But they did have the Obscura Corps, who did come across a couple anomalies now and again. And they tried to resurrect Hitler into an immortal Hitler clone, who we now have in containment. And based on Lockjaw's brilliant planning, yes, let's put it in the box with SCP-106 and throw away the key. Love it. Love it. GRU, what's that? Yellow Cam, intern Cam. If you look up GRU on general Google, you will find out that not Gru from the Despicable Me movies. We're not doing Minions right now. We're already dealing with violent LABUBUS. We don't need Minions involved as well. But the GRU is the Russian military's intelligence force. And so the GRU is Russia's military intelligence department. And so their Division P is their anomalous investigations situation. We've dealt with GRU Division P in the past as well. Cool Man Fight, thank you for donating again. I am in the second floor male restroom hiding from you and the escaped SCPs, so I can turn back into a human again, so I can tell you how being spider is like. Listen, I already know what being a spider is like. You have a miserable, wretched existence, and then you die from a rolled up newspaper. I don't need any more information on those abysmal creatures. Just turn back into a human, or else I'm putting you in a containment cell. Intern Tonk, you said the LABUBUS breached containment again. Why is nobody doing anything about it? We are doing something about it. I've got agents en route as we speak. We, the Containment Hazard Assessment Team, need to come up with some interesting anomalous toys that might give them some clues on how to handle the anomalous LABUBUS. For instance, SCP-3092, Guerrilla Warfare, one of my favorite toy-based anomalies, wonderful little guys, they are fluent in guerrilla warfare tactics. Therefore, they make formations, they make traps, they do all sorts of stuff like that. And so, obviously we would want to use a little bit of that intel to help our agents deal with the violent LABUBUS. The problem is that SCP-3092s never intentionally hurt anyone. They set little tripwires and things, and when an agent accidentally sprained their ankle on the tripwire, the gorillas got really sad, helped them get first aid, and then never used tripwires again in combat. They are wonderful little entities. 3092s are the best. But that being said, while we can talk military tactics for the LABUBUS that are breaching right now, yes, they are using military tactics. They are not nonviolent. Those teeth are sharp. They gashed some jugulars. It was gushers of blood everywhere. Dexter Morgan would be very entertained. Meanwhile, they are rappelling down from the lights and slashing Achilles tendons. It's horrifying. Barely got out with my life. Lockjaw, thank you for donating again. SCP-049 and the remains of 2912. Why do I remember the name of 2912? No! We are not letting SCP-049 experiment on clowns. No. Not the anomalous clowns from Hermes Fuller's Circus of the Disquieting. No. No. Oh. And I do not want to know what happens when 049 comes in contact with clown milk. I don't want to know. Chesta Factory, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. And thank you for taking the effort to go to the Ko-Fi in our support link that's pinned in the chat. That way, your donation does not get 30% of it taken away immediately by YouTube. I appreciate you going through the effort to make sure we get more of your donation. We salute you. Make sure to grab yourself a snow cone on your way past the commissary. I know a plushie that could probably be helpful, but you might need to get Dr. Hessen's permission first. What I want to happen is I want to throw that thing into that restaurant and watch it get torn apart. But Dr. Hessen doesn't understand how that thing works, so we're not going to be of any use there. Ooh. Turns my stomach thinking about it. Cool man fight. Thank you for donating again. But I want to put into cell without doors and lights. So you want to be put in a cell without doors and lights? I'm willing to do that. No problem there. Do you think the LABUBUS would make the tree scream? Well, Zerdrin, I highly doubt that would be a possibility, if only because all they are doing is general sharp attacks. Meaning, we've already carved that tree from stern to stem, so to speak. So, I do not think any more carvings are going to be okay in making the tree scream, unfortunately. And by the way, did you all know that the tree heals, by the way? People keep looking at me and saying 4521 is non-anomalous. Dr. Sherman, you're going crazy. Then how come when we branded it with a hot iron, the next day, the branding was gone? That is anomalous healing factor right there. So check and mate, 4521 deniers. Does Portugal have a foundation? I don't know the answer to that, intern Cam. Let me start by heading over to the international branch, because it would be interesting if they just had a Portuguese language branch. In case you're unfamiliar and you speak other languages, we have multiple branches of the SCP Wiki online. And the international branches, coming up to the hub, the international branches are Russian, Korean, Chinese, French, Polish, Spanish, Thai, Japanese, German, Italian, Ukrainian, Portuguese, Czech, traditional Chinese, and Vietnamese. So, there, we can go to the Portuguese wiki, and apparently it looks like they only have of their own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 anomalies, as well as one tale in one group of interest format. A group of interest, or of course I'm only looking at ones that have been translated to English. So they must have more over there, but it's from, it's in their own language. That makes sense. That makes more sense. I was worried for a second. I thought they didn't have anything going for them. So with that in mind, your next question is, does Portugal itself have its own foundation? I've never heard of a group of interests working out of Portugal. Group of interest, SCP database, Control F. So they're not mentioned in the groups of interest, which tells me that they probably do not have their own governmental organization. I mean, it's possible they're just small enough fish that it's never come up. There we go. Oh, I've got to open all. Oh, I've got to open all of this. Ay, ay, ay. This is so much database to pour through. This is why you guys have me, and this is why you guys don't read the wiki too often, isn't it? The ones of you who know who I'm talking about. Because obviously, if you are a wiki enjoyer, you are the upper crust of the SCP Foundation community, well loved and well respected by all. But otherwise, you have me here to do this dirty work, isn't it? I see your game. Control F, Port, U, Gull. The Scientific Academy of the Anomalous, otherwise known as the SAA, Portuguese group of interest, Academia Científica do Anómalo, group of interest of the Lusophone branch. An independent academical organization conducted scientific research into the paranormal within territories governed or targeted by Portugal. In existence for centuries, succeeding 2 different Portuguese organizations related to the anomalous, one related to the Portuguese crown, and the other related to Salazar's Estado Novo. In 1992, it merged with the Lusophone Foundation. The Lusophone Foundation isn't the only organization which has interest and investments in the anomalous world that exists through Lusophone territories. There are several other organizations that actively interact with and in this world. These organizations are designated as groups of interest. Okay. The Brazilian Superintendents for the Paranormal, Academia, Reliquary, Hunting Club, Anomalous Eyes LTDA, Order of the Tower and Valor, Technothaumaturges, Technologic. Well, that was a nice little rabbit hole into a whole side of the anomalous world and organizations that we don't often deal with here in the States. Very interesting. LABUBUS are SCP now. Intern Moonchild. They are not SCPs, but they are uncatalogued anomalies that are wreaking havoc right now. So we're trying to contain them. For anyone who is curious about what I was just searching there, to figure out all of that information, you want to go to what is called a semi-comprehensive list of groups of interest. If I go to the standard group of interest list, hold on a second. If I go to the standard groups of interest list, groups of interest, then I get a page that looks like this. The standard groups of interest page, you can scroll down and you can see that list of guys right there. And then, of course, there's the bigger summaries as we scroll down through them all. But, you know, that's a pretty reasonable list of groups of interest. But if I go to the semi-comprehensive list, then I can just go and 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 go. We're halfway there. We're halfway there. We're only halfway there. We're still going. So many groups of interest. We're falling. We're falling. We're almost to the bottom. We're almost there. Oh. If there's one thing we like to do at the Foundation, it's classify things and put them in neat little lists. There are lists like that, the semi-comprehensive list, for Foundation facilities, for Foundation departments, for Foundation front companies, for K-class scenarios, for esoteric classes, for locations of interest, for persons of interest, for species of interest, and for Foundation bots. That is lists like that for all of those things I just said. We have covered all our bases. We are categorizers of anomalous knowledge. And we do our gosh dang jobs. Yeah, thankfully the list of lists isn't actually that long. If there was a list of lists like that. Whee! Marker the Oliver, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a pimento loaf on your way past the commissary. Hiya, I'm still on the run from y'all because of the musical incident. But I met a strange man with a top hat. He gave me a Furby, LABUBUS, and a blowhigh. Well, put them in a box right now. We don't trust people in top hats in this day and age. Everybody we know who wears a top hat, crazy sons of bitches. Frickin' Herman Fuller, crazy sons of bitch. WONDERTAINMENT, crazy sons of bitch. If they wear a top hat, you put the toys in the box. You put the toys in the bag, bro. Drift Spawn, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some Spam and rice on your way past the commissary. I'm here to do Dr. Clef expense report for 05. I think cleaning 682, it's a better job right now. Well, yeah, I also would not like to run Clef's expense report. That seems like a more dangerous task, honestly. The Thomas, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member, as well as making the effort to donate through the Ko-Fi. I appreciate you going through the effort. Make sure to grab yourself a shredded pork sandwich on your way past the commissary. Well, I finished writing the character. Their document summed up is basically treat them like a hypersensitive 8-year-old or bad stuff and murder will happen. Okay, so you got this character. Now, are they just going to exist in stasis in this room? Or are you going to put them into stories and events and have things happen? Is there a next step or are you done? That's my question. Dr. Sherman, are you feeling bonita today? Well, Intern Moonston, yes, I feel bonita. I am always pretty bonita now that I think about it. Say, Dr. Sherman, what's your favorite bird SCP? A bird SCP, you say? Let me come. Oh, I don't have to look. I already know who my favorite bird anomaly is. An anomaly that is very close to just being added to my favorite entities anyways. My favorite bird anomaly is SCP-2337, otherwise known as codename Dr. Spanko. Dr. Spanko, SCP-2337, is a male corncrake. It is sapient, sentient, and capable of speech. All of its vocalizations are extremely loud, with a minimum observed volume of 90 decibels and a maximum of redacted. Though this can and has caused damage to personnel's hearing, SCP-2337 is oblivious of its ability and is generally friendly with Foundation personnel. So if you do want to go talk to Dr. Spanko, you have to wear very, very specialized noise-canceling headphones. SCP-2337's vocalizations take the form of a language tangentially related to English. It often appears to be word salad, but upon closer inspection, can have meaning in English through a series of vague innuendos, metaphors, rhyme, and arbitrary insertions of the word cack. As such, SCP-2337 will answer to the name Dr. Spanko. Initial reports of 2337 came from unusual noises in a field in England, which led to its capture. Upon containment, 2337 appeared to take hostile action against Foundation personnel, emitting blasts of noise that ruptured the eardrums of 3 agents. Upon later examination, it was revealed that 2337 was simply attempting to make friendly conversation. Oh, give me a second here. Are you getting ads on the wiki as well? I've never gotten ads on the wiki, you say. So the Wikidot only shows ads if you are not signed in. I discovered this, or at least I'm pretty sure that I figured it out. Not that I figured it out for everyone. I'm sure other people knew this before me. But I figured out that it was when I was signed in or not. If I'm signed into my handle, then I don't get ads on the wiki. But if I'm not signed in, it shows ads. Now, as I was saying, we have a conversation here with Dr. Spanko recorded, so you can get a little taste of the language. Cack! I am christened Air Dr. Spankoflex. I'm colloquially name-slapped with SCP-233 and Steven. I'm complicate across the state. Thank you for telling me your name. And how? Listen, SCP-2337. It's me! Cack! You seem to have a pre-established relationship of sorts with several of the more dangerous creatures in our custody. Yes, by the way, 2337 knows other anomalies, has friendly conversations with them, and is granted some sort of status of higher status among dangerous anomalies. Dr. Spanko is a respected figure in the anomalous community for some reason. You seem to have a pre-established relationship of sorts with several of the more dangerous creatures in our custody. And how? Yes, please elaborate on the exact nature of this relationship. It shall be done forth. Or sorry, no. It done be shall forth. Able sauce and tricky mayonnaise, forsooth, Aunt Ruth. Come packing with store-brand hostility cakes for mouth stuff. Slavykins grew boarded and bearded from Chesapeake Bay to unknown Kadath, my good Flibbert. The three-ringed hobo stack, over and over, alakazam, cack! Please repeat that statement in the dialect used by the Foundation. 10-4, X-Flax! SCP-2337 begins yodeling for 3 consecutive minutes. Please discontinue yodeling. MCAC more sense? We need you to cooperate and explain your answer in a coherent way. Mitochondria the molasses! And what the Spangle Freezer said, for shame this! Asculate the right query queue, molasses! You're not hearing me, are you? Only with the Nebraska cack flip, amigo salad. Cack! Cack? What ho, eastward bound? Profound disappointment. Snackulations, Dr. Spanko. Cack! You am authoritator? Explainerate. After being mocked like this, 2337 begins cacking angrily, then proceeds to climb up to Dr. Redacted's face and attempt to peck his eyes out. 2337 is quickly sedated with a tranquilizer dart, and Dr. Redacted suffers only minor scratches. This is the only time that 2337 has displayed hostility. So yes, Zerdrin, Dr. Spanko is clearly my favorite bird SCP. Also, we have some full recordings here on the channel of the Dr. Spanko articles. We actually have a playlist because Dr. Spanko shows up in a bunch of tales. And so you should check out the Dr. Spanko playlist if you want to hear some more Dr. Spanko stories. Because yes, the Thomas and Puppet Boy agree, Dr. Spanko is peak. And yes, Moonchild ASMR, thank you for telling everybody in the article, the word cack is C-A-C-K. And yes, most of the time in all caps. Cack! Actually funny, for all of the yelling, Dr. Spanko never talks in caps lock on the wiki, meaning that all of the loudness and exclamations are not fully capitalized. You would think with that yelling and that exclamation it would be, but I guess not. Interesting. No, back in the day, guys, when Site 42 was like 1 or 2 years old, we decided to have a merch contest. And when I liked everybody's ideas too much, I just let all the shirt makers make it. But they were all supposed to be Dr. Spanko t-shirts. Some people out there have the limited edition Dr. Spanko t-shirts from the early days of Site 42. Voidy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself some strangle fruits on your way past the commissary. And just so you guys know, I didn't mention it, but Dr. Spanko's favorite food / snack is gummy worms, which it has thusly named strangle fruits because they get stuck in his throat. They're strangle fruits. That's so cute. Hi, FYI, the animated short will be done tonight. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to see what you have cooked up. I am looking forward to what the Void is cooking. Escape Go, welcome to Mobile Task Force Captainship here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and your service in the battle against the White Names. Drift Spawn, thank you for your first donation of today's, second donation of today's stream. I report, Dr. Clef, given I don't know how's given SCP-682 PTSD, our Dr. Clef put his shotgun redacted. You gotta be more careful on your typing, man. I can't quite understand what you're saying. It's like there's static in your broadcast. It's making my head dizzy. Justifactory, thank you for your level 1 researcher member message of 4 months here. We appreciate your membership and your service. Dr. Spankoflex is now one of my favorite SCPs. You're welcome. Dr. Spanko is peak. Hell yeah. Spanko speaks like a Sims 4 character who tries to speak English. Agreed entirely. Is that a smoothie you're drinking, Doc? It is. It's a healthy breakfast to have. Time check. Oh, that's important. Thank you for asking. I completely lost track. We have 17 minutes left in stream. 17 minutes left in stream. My beef hasn't completely thawed yet. Do I attempt to fry it anyways? I am not a person who cooks. I get all my meals from the commissary. So I do not know the answer to your question, unfortunately. I had my hair cut, and I regret it massively. I hate my new haircut, but all I can do is wait for it to grow. Yup, you just gotta wait for it to grow out, unfortunately. Thankfully, it will grow out. Hats are your friend in the meantime. Wear a cool hat. Maybe get yourself, like, a newsboy cap. Those are always cool. And then by the time you're done with your hair growing out, you'll be like, but I like the hat. And then the hat will be your whole personality, and your friends will be like, you gotta take off that hat, man. You'll be like, I'm never gonna take off the hat, man. And then people will see you when they take Benadryl. True story, that's how it all happened. Hey, Dr. Sherman, I have a question out of sheer curiosity. How do I get a promotion? Well, to get a promotion in the Foundation, you need to go above and beyond the call of duty. And so it's imperative that you do something that deserves commendations. Maybe succeed at a difficult research project that no one else was able to crack. Maybe save some lives during the next containment breach. That's where your promotions come from. Puppet Boy, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a Handful of sour strangle fruits on your way past the commissary. Fun stream idea. Reading through the SCP entries Funny Moments TV Tropes page. Great for a laugh, and I'd love to share it with my fellow chat. Oh my. You want the SCP Wiki fandom, a wiki walking, stay up all night reading article after article fandom to get sucked into TV tropes? Oh man, I spent my time in the TV tropes mines, man. Oh god, you'll be there all day. And in fact, I don't know if you know this, but we have something for that. Where is it? Where is it? Come on. You're in here somewhere. No, I gotta... Where am I gonna find it? Site search. Wow. TV tropes is referenced a lot more on the SCP Wiki than I would have thought. Also, what? Hold on. Options, page source, Control F, TV tropes. Where the hell is it? Like Clockwork 7012, essays, interviewing icons, crit tips. What I'm trying to find is one of our dash J's is the TV Tropes website. TV Tropes is a dash J article on the SCP Wiki. And I just don't remember the frickin' name of it. Did I miss something exciting in chat? All right, joke SCPs. What's it called? Maybe it's just called website? All right, I'll have to look it up later and tell you about it because it's annoying me that I can't think of it right now. But it's annoying me. I need to figure this out. Nope, nope, I do not give up. All right, so let's see if one of these dash J names sounds like it could be the name of a TV Tropes page. The broke god, keep calm and Apollyon the question, rumbly and it's tumbly. When day breaks up, truth hurts. The Great Seal, a peek behind the curtain. All reliable, Site 17 Deepwell, director's cut, DIY, invisible spray paint solves every problem. The official SCP sales catalog, the big red button, the big blue button, records of the CKG gathering. The way it begins, world's best boss, amnesiac treatment, the Doctor Destroyer. Toilet humor, bring your kid to work day. Mimetic language construct, stand from accounting. Do not let O5 command see this. No, because she thinks she's talking about the... What the fuck is that thing? Out of the mouths of babes. Unidentified muffin creature. Upvote, downvote coin. Jeff. Monster containment for my monumental dong. Where is it? What Keter? I don't see any Keter. The baby. Special comedy procedures. The cuttlefish of ultimate wisdom. A fork. Just really misunderstood. This is why the SCP Foundation hates ducks and geese. Is that a missile in your pocket? Narcissistic time displacement field. A normal trench coat worn by an adult. Probably the Scarlet King. A pale comparison. Evil. Mimetic metal. Liquid SCP Foundation. A cold post. Schrodinger's remote. The big bad tap hen. PC load letter. Jesus take the wheel. Jim Henson is a real son of a bitch. Evening of Terrors. Billions of anomalous pillows. Certainly a pair of 2 combat sticks. Puppet Boy, did you find it? Please say you found it. You're telling me in a dodo it exists. Disinformation campaign Operation Trident Valley. I never would have frickin' found that. I never would have frickin' found that. So thank you, Puppet Boy, for your success. Oh, dear God. I was running out of breath. So yes, SCP-4445 is a website masquerading as a repository of common tropes from popular culture that serves as a clearinghouse for the recruitment of SCP Foundation personnel from the general population. If you are in... if you're wondering how to get hired by the Foundation, become a TV Tropes nerd. Because that's all we have, is TV Tropes nerds. That's what the SCP Wiki is. Frickin' TV Tropes nerds. I just went to the TV Tropes funny moments of the joke SCPs. Of course you did. You cross-referenced it from the other side. Because yes, we also have a joke SCP page on their wiki. Because we are friends. Researcher Voidell, if you're looking for -J's, look on the sidebar. You have explained, joke, and international. Go to the jokes. The likes are hitting higher than the people watching, Dr. Sherman. You are correct! You guys got the likes above the viewer count. Congratulations, Mobile Task Force Psi-42. Codenamed the Signal Boosters. Now you are here at the epitome of algorithmic manipulation. You are bringing people into the SCP fandom who have never heard of us, have no idea what's going on, and we will convert them. They will be one of us. And they will help us support the wiki's authors and artists and animators and game devs and filmmakers and merch makers. And we will have good SCP stuff. So thank you for that, Mobile Task Force Psi-42. Don't Run, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. No, you're not a member. No, thank you for that. But thank you for your donation. Grab yourself a cruller on your way past the commissary. 0513 says, I will not be able to allow tests today. Seems a little surprising, just to be handed down that we're not doing tests at the Foundation. Seems a little sus if you ask me. Desk, thank you for gifting a Site-42 membership to one of our lucky Containment Hazard Assessment Team members. If you got that membership from Desk, make sure to give them your thanks for their generosity. It's pronounced crueler. Zeirdrin, you had better be fucking with me right now. Hold on. It's cruller. Maybe in France, it's a cruller, but it's a cruller. Thank you. It sounds like you've been to German bakeries, and maybe they call them Krulers. I would not be shocked about that, to be fair. Dr. Cullivan, thank you for... Is this your first donation of today's stream? Yeah, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a little cup of mint chocolate chip ice cream on your way past the commissary. Hey, boss, I know you work hard. Why don't you grab some Dr. Pepper pie that I made in the commissary after stream? Also, more likes than people. Ah, that I see. Also, Dr. Pepper pie, you say. I am curious about this concoction. You know, that is a fine-looking piece of pie. Color me intrigued. I'm interested. Puppet Boy, thank you for revealing the secrets so we avoided the worst crash out known to man. Moonchild, thank you for what I think is your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Make sure to grab yourself a lemon tart on your way past the commissary. I will take SCP-729-J over a Labubu any day. You see, you know that bit where if there's two words you're comparing which is worse, and you're not allowed to say one of them, then that's the worst one? Well, I can say Labubu, but that thing, obviously worse. Objectively worse. Also, while we're on the subject, can I just point out that some of you who have found your way to the Site42 Discord server are some kind of sick in the head. Some sort of sick in the head that you created. Icha specifically created the Dr. Sherman 729 Labubu hybrid? What in the hell? Why? Why? Why would you do this? Okay. Steel your stomach. Breathe. We're back. Ugh. Desk. I'm gonna get an arm tattoo of that. You motherfucker. Forrest Connor, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Make sure to grab yourself a ginger beer on your way past the commissary. If there are so many SCPs, isn't normal life supposed to be one where SCPs exist and the public knows about them? No. Just because there's a lot of anomalous things doesn't mean they now magically fit the laws of physics. So no, we have normalcy. And then we have anomalies. Never the twain they shall meet. We have a mission here. Logan, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a slice of carrot cake on your way past the commissary. In the SCP universe, does there happen to be more WW2 German and Russian experiments that are SCP? Yes, there is definitely, in the universe where I reside, both GRU Division P and Obscura Corps did a lot of research on actual anomalies. I mean, they chased just as many fake leads. Russians were a little more competent than the Germans, but yes, there was just as much. I mean, we also have explained articles that actually weren't anomalous, so, you know, everybody makes mistakes, but some of us make more mistakes than others. Idiots. But if the anomalies are naturally occurring, who decides what should and shouldn't be known? We do. That's our cross to bear. A cross that our 4 G'I that we have in containment are very familiar with. The Thomas, thank you for donating to the Ko-Fi a couple more times, but while I wasn't looking. There's one log of something interesting that happened during one of the breaches. I'm probably going to add to the doc as I use the character and stuff. Again, never intended to go canon to the wiki, but if you want to peek at it. Gotcha. Well, good luck with your continuing growth of story. Maybe you'll turn it into something that you will want to submit sometime when it gets good enough. And you also said, please don't turn Dr. Pepper into a pie. We need their work. Har-dee, har-har. But also, we don't let Dr. Pepper near SCP-294 anymore either. It's the Cup of Joe incident all over again. Whoa. Logan, thank you for donating again. Was about SCP de Glock. I do not know with what you are talking about, although we do have many anomalous firearms in containment. I don't have one under that specified classification. Remember, we classify anomalies with numbers, not names. All right, everyone, we have made it to the end of today's stream. I have got much research to do today, so today's coffee break is over. At the end of stream, I always tell you guys my favorite SCPs, although I'm not going to cheat and say that the SCPs I personally wrote are my favorite. That would be rude. Instead, if you want to see the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's Site 42 hub and author page on the SCP Wiki. There, you can see all the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects too. And while you're there, if you go one tab over from the SCPs, you might find some links. Some links to places people are pretty insistent on getting to, but they never seem to find them. They don't look hard enough. You gotta be intrepid to survive here at the Foundation. And while you're there, you can become a Site 42 Patreon patron or YouTube channel member if you want to donate to us monthly. You can do a Ko-Fi or a Super Chat if you want to donate to us one at a time. Either way, direct donations are the most, well, direct way to keep the lights on around here, so we appreciate your efforts. The SCP Foundation is pretty niche as a community, so we don't get a lot of sponsors, unfortunately, so your donations are very gladly appreciated, trust me. Meanwhile, if you can't donate, and trust me, we're an arts community, starving artist is a phrase for a reason. We understand being part of the broke gang, trust me. And so, as long as you are still here, liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, chatting, doing all that YouTube business, you are an honored and valued member of Mobile Task Force Sci 42, codename the Signal Boosters. And it's because of you hitting that like button, getting the likes above the viewers, that the YouTube algorithm pulls people into our feed, and they go, oh, what is this SCP Foundation stuff? Maybe I want to stick around here a little bit. And that's how we get them. And that's how they and you are going to help us support the wiki and its authors and artists and filmmakers and game makers and merch makers, animators, a little bit of everything. We're getting more SCP stuff every day, and it's because of you guys. We're going to do this, Sci 42, and I appreciate your efforts. Now, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5175, 5320, 8980. Content warning on the last one, it's a rough read. Site 42 staff. This has been another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. Oh, Julian, it's a hungry world. They're gonna eat you alive, son. Yeah, oh, Julian. When their fangs sink in, I'll stitch you, but then I gotta throw you back in. No, you just try to sleep, even though you're alone. You just close your eyes, boy, and dream of home. And light is always on, you just keep that in mind. When you wake in the morning, you'll be satisfied. 'Cause there is always a wrong to your right. And there will always be a war somewhere to fight. And God knows I've had some rough fucking years. Oh, oh Lord, keep on keeping on. Strax and Mary, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. The credit song is Oh Lord by Foxy Shazam. Be safe, be well, everybody. Secure, contain, protect.